Weekly forecast August 21st to 27th, 2023 Mercury retrogrades. Hey everybody, this is the weekly forecast commencing on Monday, August the 21st, 2023. Pretty big week. You might be burning the candle at both ends, you might be exhausted, you might get discouraged, plus these are with Mars transits, plus Mercury is going retrograde on the 23rd, joining Venus in retrograde. But before I unpack how all this will apply to you, if you enjoy these types of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe, and don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Starting with Monday the 21st, the moon is in Libra. The moon sets the emotional tone, the public tone. Libra is always trying to find peace, cooperation, harmony, can be a bit indecisive. The moon will be going void, of course. When the moon is changing signs, it goes from sign to sign every 2.5 days, and when it's changing signs, it is no longer making aspects to other planets, so there's not a lot of activity, the energy is flat, it's unproductive. This moon void, of course, is happening from 1:31 p.m. Pacific Time until 4:22 p.m. Pacific Time. This is advised not to start new projects, not to make commitments, because the energy being flat doesn't seem to be fruitful. But at 4:22 p.m. Pacific Time, the moon leaves indecisive Libra and goes into all or nothing, compulsive, passionate Scorpio. Also, the Libra tend to be more sociable, Scorpio can be more private. Now on Tuesday the 22nd, assertive, athletic, ambitious Mars will be in opposition or confrontation to nebulous Neptune. Now this happens once every 2 years, and when Mars is triggered by Neptune, you could feel very discouraged, you might be feeling exhausted. With that Mars, you're trying to push forwards, but with the Neptune, you get unfocused. It's not a good day to be making any kind of important business commitment, especially because Mercury is going retrograde the next day on the 23rd, meaning on the 22nd not only has it been in the shadow period for the previous 2 weeks, where communications decisions has been slowing down, or compelling you to really think more carefully. But when the day before Mercury changes directions, it's at a standstill and it's an optical illusion. If you look through a telescope on Tuesday, it's going to seem like the Mercury is not going forwards, it's not going backwards, it's called stationary. And stationary, and afterwards Mercury goes retrograde, joining with Venus, that is also retrograde, and that's testing relationships. Now Wednesday the 23rd, not only is Mercury going retrograde until September the 15th, it's joining Venus that's been retrograde. And the Sun leaves outgoing extroverted Leo, and on the 23rd, Sun is going into analytical, work-oriented Virgo. In the northern latitudes, the summer is winding down, starting to think about going back to school, going back to work, that's all that Virgo energies. Mercury is about decision-making, and when it's retrograde, you're second-guessing, you're unsure. Mercury represents your expectations, so expect the unexpected. Now the rule is to avoid rushing into major new business ventures, avoid starting new jobs, making commitments or promises. If you commit to something or you sign a contract committing you legally to something, a better situation could show up, or you could find out there's all kinds of problems, and you might regret it. You want to avoid making major purchases, you want to be really careful about traveling. We all have to travel, people are traveling around the world every day, but when Mercury's in retrograde, there might be more delays, frustrations, cancellations. And if you are connecting with somebody and getting infatuated, excited about the possibilities of a new relationship, with Venus in retrograde that is testing relationships, and Mercury's in retrograde which could be really hurting communications. So one example could be that you're starting a new relationship and you have all these assumptions that turn out not to be correct. Now it's not the kiss of death for new relationships, but you need to go very carefully and take time to understand the other person. Don't be making all kinds of long-range plans. Don't be thinking this is the one. Now Venus is about relationships. Venus is also creative projects. Venus is also about finances. And so with all the retrogrades, a lot of readjusting, a lot of delays, a lot of frustrations. So it's only a couple of weeks that they're both retrograde, so slow it down, take your time, be in the moment, don't be looking at long-term futures. Now on Thursday the 24th, the moon has now shifted into Sagittarius, but mid-morning Pacific time, the moon will be squaring or in a challenging tense aspect to cautious or strict Saturn. With Moon Saturn, you might be feeling depressed, you might be really worried, you might be emotionally really frustrated, but there is some good news. Now on Tuesday, as I said, Mars was opposite Neptune and you could be feeling tired and weak. On Thursday the 24th, now athletic, courageous Mars is in harmony or a trine to compulsive, assertive Pluto. That Mars-Pluto can really be motivating you, really pursue your goals, really accomplish work tasks. Don't start major new projects, but projects that's been ongoing. That Mars-Pluto on Thursday could certainly give you tremendous drive and energy to really try to accomplish as many work tasks as possible. But that could also go along with the exhaustion, especially as we now have the Mercury in retrograde. On Friday, the moon continues in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very outgoing, adventurous. The moon in Sagittarius, however, will be in a square or a difficult angle to communication Mercury, which is now retrograde. The moon is subjective, it's emotional, it's at cross purposes with Mercury, which is analytical and rational, but now the Mercury is retrograde, so there could be a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of assumptions, so just take it slow and really think before you react, and make any important decisions. Saturday, now the moon has entered into practical grounded Capricorn, that's in harmony with the sun in Virgo, because they're both earth signs. Early afternoon Saturday the 26th, the sun in Virgo will be shining its light opposite to restricted, cautious Saturn. So with all that Mars energies that could be exhausting you, from Saturday afternoon Pacific time into early part of Sunday, you might be feeling like you're hitting a wall. Saturn can rule authority figures, Saturn can rule government, Saturn can just represent all these challenges. The sun can represent the physical body, and you could just be feeling really exhausted after this week with the Mars transits, with Venus and Mercury and retrograde. And on Sunday, Mars that's been insensible, practical, analytical Virgo goes into Libra until October the 11th. And when Mars Aries is in Libra, there's this push for cooperation, for diplomacy, that's the good news. Because Libra is all about peace and harmony and Mars is the motivation and the drive, but it can often be a period of a lot of indecisiveness. And with all the retrograde planets, and by the 29th when Uranus turns retrograde, there will be the 6 planets in retrograde, and so there's a lot of readjusting, resetting, not a time to be really committed to major new projects, just letting things unfold because there's so much unstable energy. But like I said in the video, it can be a very favorable time to reset your life direction, your career direction. Just don't make any important life decisions with relationships, with career, with your living situation. The situation will be signaling you to change, but it's not time yet to act on it because you could be changing your mind later on. So it is a time to do a lot of reflecting, a lot of asking questions, do your due diligence, and take your time, because for a lot of people, this could be crossroads and the best approach is to take it day by day, do a lot of introspection, not make any major decisions until October. I want to thank you for watching. Until next week, be safe and well.